boy, this would be quite the doozy, wouldn't it? Or would it instead be the expected thing to happen? I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, because today we're talking about Moritz Seider of the Detroit Red Wings, we're talking about Dylan Larkin of the Detroit Red Wings, and whether or not one of these guys is going to strip the other. Oh goodness, that sounds really bad. My mistake. We're talking about whether or not Larkin is going to lose his captaincy and whether or not Seider's going to take it from him. There you go. I'm not divulging into conversations about one of them stripping the other. That's a little too weird. But this all comes to us from what Ansar Khan said last week on Oilers Now, the podcast. He spoke about the Detroit Red Wings saying that Moritz Seider will be the next captain. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, even if Dylan Larkin comes back. Now that would be like a comet in the sky. Rare, but still occasional enough where it's like, it's one of these again, isn't it? Having a captain get stripped of his C whilst remaining on the team in order for that C to be given to somebody else who is more worthwhile is rare. But I feel like for the situation at hand, this would be for an entirely other reason compared to what we had seen in the past. You see, when I think about captains staying on their teams and losing the C to somebody else, I think about two names. First, we have John Tavares, who went out there and started his Toronto Maple Leafs career as the captain of that team, coming over from free agency. He betrayed the Islanders. He's a snake, a fake, etc. Let's just go out there and search on the Google machine. Why did John Tavares lose the captaincy? As much as I don't like these AI overviews, some of them are accurate. Sometimes. Tavares stepped aside from the captaincy of the Maple Leafs in August 2024 to facilitate a passing of the torch to Austin Matthews. He supported the transition, stating he wanted to put the team first and help the organization embrace its next era. Following this move, Tavares became an alternate captain. Now, the other name that I think about when I think about guys losing the C is somebody else that happened to be a Maple Leaf at one time. Joe Thornton. This was 12 years ago by now, which is like so weird to me. Hi, we're getting old. The San Jose Sharks stripped Joe Thornton of his captaincy in August 2014 following a disappointing first-round loss. GM Doug Wilson stated the stress and pressure of the role were impacting Thornton and that the team needed to share the leadership responsibilities. Now, there also were some other posts made, like this is from the San Jose Sharks subreddit 12 years ago. Through 60 games of the upcoming year, how has stripping Joe Thornton's captaincy affected San Jose? There are some... here it is. It's an article. Is this still available? Okay, it is still available. That's great. 2015, this article was published by Dave Lozo, going out there and talking about how essentially this was what the San Jose Sharks were trying to do. This year, I believe they're a better led team than they were last year without having a C on it, and that's not an indictment against Joe Thornton by any means. That was mentioned by Todd McLellan, who happens to be the current head coach of the Red Wings. How funny. Ooh, look at the parallels there, eh? McLellan has the leadingless leaders to ever lead this season. What in the world is going on at Bleacher Report, man? Through 60 games, the Sharks are 8th in the West with 68 points in 60 games. That's pretty fine, honestly. Here are Joe Thornton's numbers over the past 2 years. The year where he was the captain, he had a .93 points per game, and then the year where he lost it, he had a .91, at that time, at least. So, he was kind of performing the same, and they did drop in the standings as well. There are some scapegoats over here. Dan Boyle left. Brent Burns was moved to the blue line, and they added John Scott, which weakened the forward depth. So that obviously happened 12 years ago. Todd McLellan was a part of that situation. But now, thinking about the Detroit Red Wings, Dylan Larkin would get stripped of the captaincy, not because, he's not that great of a leader and we need more leaders to step up, or, he wants to facilitate a passing of the torch. Larkin would be getting that C removed because of this trade situation. Because all of a sudden, the integrity of him as a leader of a hockey team that he has captained for 6+ years is being questioned, because now when the going has gotten the toughest it's ever gotten, when the Red Wings have gotten as close as they have ever gotten, now he's like, sorry, I want out. Sorry, I'm talking smack about our GM last year, heading into the offseason because he didn't make any trades. And that issue seemed to percolate even more this season when the Red Wings fell out of playoff contention after Dylan Larkin and his American buddies won that gold medal and he stopped having his foot on the gas for the second half of that year. Then you have the other element of Larkin and Yzerman potentially having a rift as far back as like 2019. Larkin wanted to be the captain when Stenberg retired, but Yzerman was like, wait, let's just hold off a little bit and not give Larkin that captaincy just yet. Apparently Larkin was pissed off with that. And now, in 2026, it's like, even if Larkin comes back, looks like Moritz Seider is going to be the guy. Now, I have no reservations at all about Moritz Seider being a captain-like figure on the Detroit Red Wings. In fact, if I were to be forced to name a captain myself, I would immediately instinctually say Moritz Seider. He's a big dude, he is a point-producing machine, he is a mean machine, and he's a physically imposing force. He showed off at the Olympics why he is one of the best defensemen in the world. 60 points, 82 games this most recent season. There's a lot that Mo Seider does on and off the ice that is worthy of getting that C. And I think the biggest thing as well is the fact that he's 25, he's still young, and he's committed to the Red Wings. You can't say the same thing about Dylan Larkin. There are some other comments that have been talked about as well. This was on the tweet itself. The Wings should just trade Larkin already and rip that Band-Aid off. Yeah, I'd say that's the most ideal situation, but as we had been mentioning, Larkin has a very limited trade list, and it's hard to force a trade because not all these teams actually have stuff that the Red Wings could want. By the way, I'm interested in this guy's profile picture. What is this? Who is that? Okay, is that Stuart Skinner? Oh, that's really, really funny. Gemini AI, you've done it again, I guess. Michigan D-Rez says, I don't think Seider is leader material. I'd much prefer DeBrincat. He's the littlest guy on the ice, but he battles like nobody else on the wings. Always in scrums, in front of the net, and sticking up for teammates. Seider, for a big guy, has drastically cut down on his physicality. Interesting. He stopped being as physical because he needs to stay out of the penalty box because the Wings suck when he isn't on the ice. It never stopped Pronger, Stevens, or Darian Hatcher. I mean, look, dude, Pronger and Stevens were on Stanley Cup caliber teams. I don't know what you're talking about. That's a dumb argument, in my opinion. You think Larkin would come back and not be captain? I'm dying, LOL. Well, it wouldn't be up to him. They wouldn't be asking Larkin, hey, can you go all John Tavares and hand a torch to the next generation by giving up your captaincy? It'd be like, no, Larkin, you're not the captain anymore. We're removing it from you. You don't want to be here. We already know you don't want to be here. You asked out. This entire thing's been a big spin in the media. There's no way you can be the captain of this team anymore. So with all that said, you can let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think DeBrincat deserves to be the captain over a guy like Seider? Do you think Seider becoming the captain, even if Larkin is on the team, is reminiscent of the Joe Thornton situation from 12 years ago? Also, Todd McClellan, he was around back then. He could be around now to see another captain get stripped of that C and handed off to somebody else. I mean, the Joe Thornton situation, they didn't have a captain after Thornton lost it. Pavelski became the captain later on, but that was a while later. So you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about all this Red Wings, Larkin, Seider, captaincy stuff? I hope you enjoyed this British Ash Roll 99. And bye.